You are involved. I'm not involved in anything. I'm sitting around.
When he refuses to show his ID.
I need your ID. I refuse to give you my ID. Hey, now.
Let go.
Why are you hitting me?
The officer grabs for Bennett's phone, and then both the police record and Bennett say the officer struck him before taking him to the ground.
Welcome back to We the People University. My name is Abiyah Israel, former police officer, former sheriff deputy.
Open up! Police!
Hey guys, I wanted to make sure that everyone had the opportunity to register for my course. Therefore, for 10 days only, the course will be on sale for 50% off. I really want to make sure every one of you guys know your rights, so don't miss this opportunity. My online course is full of video courses, real-life video examples, quizzes to make sure you retain the information. And get this, you don't even have to take notes. I took them for you. Only thing you have to do is download them. When you register for my course, it also comes with a free pocket guide with the Constitution, case law, and all the do's and don'ts when dealing with the police, so you will know what they can and cannot do, and you're never caught lacking. Make sure you register today because the sale will be ending soon. Jeffersontown Police Department, located in Kentucky, is going to be the perfect example of when police act first, think later. We're going to see police approach a citizen who's in public exercising his First Amendment right when he was accused of being one of the suspects out of a group of men who were passing bad checks. We're going to see the police walk over. Instead of investigate, they go from 0 to 100 by assuming this citizen was a part of criminal activity simply because someone else said so. This is the perfect example to show that investigative skills are no longer taught in academies. Let's take a look at this video and we'll go more into it in a second.
Jeffersontown police hope the body camera footage from an incident that's gone viral will help explain why officers got physical with a bystander live streaming a police encounter. And good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us here for Wave 3 News at 7. I'm Connie Leonard in for Dawn tonight. That incident happened in late November at a McDonald's parking lot off of Bluegrass Parkway. Wave 3 News reporter Mike Fussell shows us the footage police have and why they thought the man was part of a multi-state crime scheme.
My boss dropped me off.
Called to a bank nearby, police were in search of men passing bad checks. Body camera footage shows Officer Manny Cruz making one arrest in a McDonald's parking lot.
Take your hands off that car one more time. I'm going to bounce you.
And another at a bank.
I'm just going to check for weapons real quick. Turn around.
When the suspect walked in while he was there. Jeffersontown Police Chief Rick Sanders says those arrested ultimately ended up being homeless men picked up from a shelter in Evansville, Indiana, being paid to pass bad checks by men who had dropped them off. They too would be later arrested. But a bystander recording the police activity, Joseph Bennett, mistakenly was identified by a witness as being involved. So Cruz moved in to detain him.
How's it going, sir? You got your ID?
Yeah, why?
So Officer Cruz moved in to detain him. So this is how this should go. Someone makes an accusation or allege that you're a part of criminal activity. Okay, it is my job to investigate because it may be true. But detaining you is not the first step because it also may be false. As a police officer, I need to ascertain that there is enough evidence, or at least enough that can give me reasonable articulable suspicion that you are a part of this crime. At that point, then I can detain. But before then, no detainment is lawful. But unfortunately, police today feel, hey, if I want to detain you, then guess what? I can just detain you. Never mind your basic rights, and never mind that you may be an innocent citizen simply observing what's going on.
Because you're filming a crime scene investigation, and you've been...
I'm just filming in public.
And you are involved.
Police say Bennett began resisting. Cruz struck him.
Whoa, easy.
Sanders saying the incident shouldn't be considered a violation of Bennett's First Amendment rights, even though Cruz claimed him filming was reason to show ID.
Why Manny said that, I'm not sure, because it had nothing to do with him filming. It had everything to do with him being a suspect in this check cashing scheme.
Ultimately, Bennett was not found to have any connection to that, and 2 charges against him related to not complying with police have been dropped. Sanders says internal investigators are working to see if Cruz followed policy. The department has also asked the FBI for a review out of an abundance of caution. Meanwhile, Cruz is on paid leave. Sanders spoke of him in a positive light, saying the incident was out of character, adding he will be implementing further de-escalation training for all officers. Sanders says the department has received hundreds of calls and emails from people angry about the incident from all over the country. In Jeffersontown, Mike Fussell, Wave 3 News.
If you listen to all the ridiculous claims made by the Jeffersontown Police Department, it's absolutely horrible. First, Officer Cruz stated that since the citizen was filming, he should show his ID. And then that was followed up by the chief, who stated, I don't know why he said that. I do. He said that because that's what he actually believes. He doesn't know the law. The fact that all charges were dropped showed that the citizen broke no laws. But it was stated that they have to check and see if Cruz followed policy. But wait, if the citizen broke no laws, but yet your officer roughed him up, punched him in the stomach, and requested ID although no laws were broken, if you're not sure if your policy was followed or not, that policy definitely needs to be changed. But it's not over yet. Let's take a look at this from the citizen's point of view.
Doing my due diligence as a citizen to watch things.
You can hear him on his Facebook live stream say he wanted to keep his distance and that everything would probably be mundane.
This may be the most boring live video ever.
What unfolded next was something he never expected. 3 minutes into the video, 2 officers approach Bennett and one asks to see his ID and says that he's part of an investigation.
Yeah, why?
Because you're filming a crime scene investigation. And
I'm just filming in public.
And you're involved.
I'm not involved with anything. I'm sitting around.
When he refuses to show his ID,
I need your ID.
I refuse to give you my ID.
hey, now.
Let go. Why are you hitting me?
The officer grabs for Bennett's phone, and then both the police record and Bennett say the officer struck him before taking him to the ground. The report says it was an empty strike. Bennett says he was punched hard.
I can guarantee you that if you ever strike a police officer, it doesn't matter how. It can be with your pinky. It's never going to be determined that it was an empty strike. You're going to jail. But yet when it comes to the citizen, hey, let's justify this. It was an empty strike. It wasn't that bad. Tell that to the man who got punched.
I don't feel like there was any need for me to be struck and handcuffed and taken to the ground. A little care, a little concern, and slowing down a little bit would help them do their job better.
The citation that police gave Bennett says they were investigating a check fraud scheme at the bank across the street from the McDonald's. A lieutenant colonel with JPD told me on the phone that one of the people arrested in the parking lot pointed Bennett out as their driver in the crime. That lieutenant colonel said Bennett is not a suspect in the check fraud scheme that they were here investigating, but Bennett was cited for menacing and resisting arrest. And Bennett says he wants those charges dropped at the very least. And he also says he wants police moving forward to not escalate situations with people when those people are obviously not a threat to them. In Jeffersontown, David Guilford reporting for Spectrum News.
Hopefully you caught the lie that was told. Remember earlier, it was stated that a witness accused the citizen of being part of the crime. Later, they said one of the suspects identified him as being the driver. 2 different stories. Obviously, Jeffersontown's police department's motto is act first, cover later. Police and citizens have a huge disconnect. This is why I have no regrets about moving away from the career. We all collectively must make this change. You have to stand up, then speak up, and make sure your rights are never violated. But to know if your rights are violated, you must first know your rights. Make sure you learn your rights. Down below in the description section is a link to my free ebook. Also, you can click the link above my head. Make sure you download it. It's going to help you know what you can and can't do and what the police can and can't do when you encounter the police. Make sure you know your rights. So when these type of situations happen, you can fight back the legal way. With that being said, We the People University, signing off.